It is my singular honor and pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural press briefing for the African Chief of Defense Staff Summit 2025 holding in Abuja, Nigeria. As the coordinator has said, we are here to just inform you about the event and then seek your collaboration on how we can run this event and make it a success for the benefit of Nigeria. On that note, I'll read a short brief which will be passed around to all of you to have a copy, and then we'll take questions and answers from everybody as necessary. So Africa and across the spectrum of terrorism, armed conflicts, organized crimes, and arms trafficking. The transnational nature of these threats demand that nations collaborate to confront them. To this end, the African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit, ACDSS for short, was conceptualized by the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.G. Musa OFR, as a premier platform for the Chiefs of Defense establishments across the continent to engage in dialogue on shared defense and security mechanisms to enhance defense capabilities amongst African nations. Truly, in the light of the current realities, it has become imperative to seek African solutions to African problems. In recognition of this, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has granted approval for the Defense Headquarters to host the maiden African Chief of Defense Staff Summit 2025. The theme for this inaugural summit is combating contemporary threats to regional peace and security in Africa, the role of strategic defense collaborations. And this summit will cover 4 thematic areas, namely discussions on collective securities and strategy for African security issues, facilitating collaborative responses to peace and security issues within the African continent, developing mechanisms for integrating the private sector into African defense efforts, and lastly, establishing a roundtable for the initiation of homegrown solutions to African defense problems and issues. The summit is scheduled to hold from 25th to 27th of August at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja, and the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, all in Abuja here. The event is also expected to showcase African defense capabilities through defense exhibition, which will concurrently hold with the summit at the venue for the event. The exhibition is particularly important as it has become imperative to adopt homegrown solutions and responses to emerging threats, especially through support to locally manufacturing companies for the African defense industry. Invited guests include over 53 Chiefs of Defense Staffs from across African countries, resource persons from across the globe, some foreign partners, as well as senior retired and serving military officers. Other guests include heads of the African Union and ECOWAS commissions, state governors, honorable ministers, government offices, officials and offices, and heads of various security agencies, amongst others. It will interest you to know that the summit is being organized in conjunction with African Business Roundtable, a Nigerian company who are the consultants to this event and very exposed and capable of handling such events. So we are working with them for this event, and they've been very helpful, and we hope that we will achieve more as we work with African Business Roundtable for this event. Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also supporting us while we are reaching out to other stakeholders to support and partner with this event. It's on this premise that the Defense Headquarters is equally seeking your support, your collaboration, and your partnership to make the African Chief of Defense Staff Summit 2025 a huge success. It is to be emphasized that the hosting of the event is a testament to the leadership role Nigeria plays in Africa. Leveraging on this, let us join hands to make the country the hub of defense and security issues in Africa, while promoting a safe and secure African continent at the same time. While we appreciate your efforts and continued support to the Armed Forces of Nigeria, we urge you to extend that same support to this summit's organizing committee towards a successful hosting of the event. Thank you, and God bless.
Question, the voice of Abuja as well. Like the conference, we'll be seeking collaborative response, talking about no one doing it alone in a joint and combined setting for some of the challenges addressing the threats that face the African continent. Of course, it will also be a platform for these graduates in defense establishments to begin to understand themselves and discuss better ways of relating across the globe. In a nutshell, that's what we're seeing. Don't forget this is the maiden edition of the summit, and a lot of things will ride on the success of for subsequent editions by God's grace. Thank you.
Neighboring countries in the West African region and your briefings continent. I want to know if you've gotten the unlocked. I'm talking about Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. If you've gotten the unlocked.
We don't get involved in political issues as much as possible. I can tell you with all confidence that under the multinational joint task force, Niger Republic is still participating, even though we have a strained political relationship with them. So Mali, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, we have no issues with them militarily because one threat to one is threat to all. So if you focus on the political issues, then you have this kind of discussion. But on the military side, we are working together. We had an ECOWAS Chief of Defense Staff's conference here, and most of them attended the ECOWAS conference. So we're not having any, but we're just writing to them, informing them. We're getting responses from most of the countries we've written to of their plan to participate and attend in person, not just sending a representative. So I think we have no issues with that. We are political. With military side, I keep on following the military side, even though we listen to our political leaders. Thank you.
These countries still maintain that their defense sections. So as I speak with you, I'm the Director of Foreign Liaison. All three countries still have their defense attaches in this country. So when the chairman said we're still engaging in terms of military, they did not withdraw their defense attache. Meaning what? Meaning on that platform, they were invited and it's expected that those invitations will be granted. Thank you very much. I just needed to have that clarity.
Thank you.
This meeting address the threat of terrorism and insurgency in Africa, attacking each African countries. In Nigeria, we have ISWAP Boko. So how will this meeting address the threat?
The summit has not been held. That question is for the summit, and I believe the bigwigs in defense in Africa will attend to that your question when they meet come August 25th to 27th. Thank you.
If you remember during the brief, I said one of the things we seek to accomplish during this summit is developing mechanisms for integrating public-private sector into African defense efforts to develop an African defense industrial hub. So we don't have to depend on foreigners for everything. We get to manufacture some within Nigeria, within other countries. And if I'll give an example. The Nigerian company, Proforce, they manufacture a lot of things, and we buy from them. It's a homegrown solution to a homegrown problem. If we have to depend on importing these items all the time, the cost and all that, it's cheaper from Proforce and the Nigerian company who can produce here and function in Nigeria. So the conference will seek to answer these questions where Africa will adopt all its capabilities. Morocco has, Tunisia has, South Africa has, bring all these collaborative defense efforts together to have a homegrown African solution to African problems. So we're looking forward to that, and the summit will answer that. After the summit, you will have an answer to this question you just asked again. Thank you very much.
For this summit, please, we'd like to be doing such the security matter.
For this event, I'm a soldier, I'm a military man. You need a civilian component to help you run some things that are not within your own purview to run. So they are consultants to the African Chief of Defense Staff Summit. DHU for the African Chief. So Mr. Dottu will add some voice to that. Mr. Dottu, please.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
So I agree with you on that. And in the purpose of security and stability, not only in Africa, across the globe, you see, the focus on solution. It's a shared responsibility. And one of the points the chairman referred to is how to bring the private sector into the mainstream of defense efforts. So we need a public-private sector partnership. So while the military represents the public sector aspect of it, the African Business Roundtable will focus more on the private sector engagements. In this regard, we're looking at a broad range spectrum of activities that to support, the military solution that we're looking at. Thank you so much.
Thank you.